slides or someone?
That little clicker should work, I think.
Okay.
Check that.
We don't have to do it. No, just someone do it.
Is that working?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Okay, you may start whenever you are ready.
Hello judges, we are the VLHS Enviroton team. I'm Morgan Thurston.
I'm Joshua Laughlin.
I'm Sydney Princeton.
Ben Palmerder.
And I'm Sarah. And for our service project, we decided to dress up as Ewoks and throw dodgeballs at children.
For the environment. Okay, so our community issue, we visited the Midland landfill as well as the Midland recyclers, and we learned a lot of stuff while we were there. While we were at the Midland City landfill, we learned that there are over 24,000 tons of garbage collected annually versus the small 2 million pounds of waste recycled at the Midland recyclers. So that's obviously a big difference, as you can see there, and it's because recycling is simply not as popular as it used to be. It's not as respected. People don't think about it when they just go and throw things away. They don't think about what can be made from it. So we decided to work with the Midland recyclers because they are a nonprofit. They are completely volunteer-based, volunteer-run, and so we thought that we'd really be able to help them.
So the environmental issue as a whole over the entire nation is not much better. There's about 254 million tons of trash generated every year in the US, and only about 10% of that is recycled. And so we wanted to make sure that the 90% that's always thrown into the dumps and landfills and other lower forms of waste collection are, like, we wanted to make sure that less of that was taken to those places and more to the recycling. Because even places like landfills, which are definitely better than dumps, are not perfect. They have gases that leak into the air, and that's bad for the environment, and then there's the liquids that soak into the ground, and that'll ruin the groundwater. So we wanted to address this issue.
After learning all of this, we decided that we wanted to partner with Midland Recyclers. They are a nonprofit, volunteer-based organization that has no affiliation with the city of Midland. However, they do operate on their land, but they don't get any funding from them. And they're run entirely by volunteers as well as a family that has taken the objective to do that. They have one big fundraising event as well as sorting opportunities during the year. So we went and sorted at their facility multiple times, as well as helped with their big fundraising event, which was a Star Wars 5K and a Jedi training session to raise awareness for recycling. And that was a lot of fun.
Alright, so the first step we took is we went and toured the Midland landfill. So we went there and we got to go and take our van up to where we were pushing the garbage into like the landfill and burying it. So that was pretty cool. Then we went right next to it, which was the Midland recycling place. And we sorted out recycling for them there because they have to do that by hand. They're like a volunteer group. So then we made the walk out, we went there, and to get the supplies for it, we got completely recycled materials that they had there, and we, gave them another use, which was like recycling. Then we made the costumes to be Ewoks because if you're gonna be Ewoks, you have to look the part. And then the fifth thing we did was we went and to the May the 4th 5K, and we were Ewoks, which was an obstacle on their 5K.
So for the first step, again, we went to the landfill. These are some pictures of us there. We actually got to drive around on the mounds following some of their dump trucks, so we saw the process of where that stuff went. In the bottom corner there, we went to a plant where they reclaim some of those gases to try to manage those. And as Josh said, landfills do their best to try to contain those harmful chemicals and harmful substances and keep them out of the environment. But when it comes down to it, you are just putting trash into the planet, into the dirt, and that can ultimately have negative effects on the environment. So visiting that just showed us that even through our best efforts in engineering, just throwing things away is not going to be sustainable forever, as recycling can be.
Okay, so the second part of our plan was volunteering at the Midland recyclers. So we went to the plant twice. The first time we just sorted materials and pretty much talked with the owners and stuff, and we were trying to brainstorm what we wanted to do. And then when we came back the second time, we knew we wanted to make an Ewok hut. So after we helped sort for a little bit, we went through everything they kind of had, and we found a big cardboard box and a large sheet of plastic and a bunch of shredded paper. So we figured that we could use that to make our Ewok hut.
And once we collected all those materials, we made our very own Ewok hut for their 5K obstacle course. And we used the cardboard and a few Sharpies to make it look more like a hut. But the goal of the event was to make sure everything looked like it was recycled to raise awareness and promote recycling as a whole. So it didn't look perfect, but that was on purpose because they wanted it to look like it was still trash. Yeah.
After we had our hut built, we realized that we still needed to make costumes because we couldn't really just stand out there and throw dodgeballs at people running by looking like we do now. And so we went to Goodwill and we got some orange t-shirts and some brown t-shirts that we could cut up and use for hoods and just regular t-shirts. And we got some belts and headbands, all of which we got from Goodwill. So they were also repurposed, which was nice because it was more recycling that we could do.
Oops, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. There we go.
Alright, so next we became Ewoks. So Midland Recyclers, we told them that they were there, so they got us little Ewoks that we could have with us. As you can see, there's the finished hut, that's shredded paper on the top, and then the cardboard box. Then we are wearing our hoods, and we threw dodgeballs at the people who ran by. A lot of people thought it was pretty fun. So.
This is a video that we can't get to work right now because it's on Google and we don't have internet, but if you do want to see it, I have a copy of it on my phone.
So in conclusion, we spent about 31 hours volunteering at Midland Recyclers, sorting through all of the recycling that they would get. We spent about 10 hours on the huts and the costumes, getting those ready for the event. We reached about 230 people at the event, and many of them afterwards said that we were their favorite part or their favorite station. And a lot of the children would run through with their parents, and it was just great for them to see all of the things that we had recycled and how they can reuse stuff to do fun things like this.
Thank you for listening. Any questions?
We've got 5 minutes for questions.
I've got a question. At the end, you relied on just what people might have said as they were attendees at your event, at the event. But I wondered, how might you have gathered more specific data to be able to show your impact?
We contacted the people who ran the event and asked them how many were registered for attendance to get our count of how many people were there. And we could only hear what people said about us. There were a couple people who didn't seem entirely pleased that we were throwing dodgeballs at them, which is somewhat understandable because I wouldn't want to have dodgeballs thrown at me while I was running. I wouldn't want to be running at all. But a lot of the people seemed really excited about it. They thought it was really cute that we were dressing up as Ewoks and running around in the forest and throwing rocks at them.
If I can add to that too, another way, the measurable aspect of this is more focused on the less glamorous part, which was going to Midland Recyclers and sorting through however many bins of recycling. And then for the race, it was really just, our target audience was the children, not as much as the adults, because we wanted to make sure that as kids are growing up, they really do realize the importance of this throughout their whole life. So that was another way that we wanted to focus our impact.
Did you feel like you were promoting more reuse or recycle?
They go together because people always say the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle. And so I feel like it was better that we had kind of enveloping all of that into our project too, so that people know that it's not just sending things to a plant and it's not just keeping your trash for as long as you can. There's different uses for everything.
You all look very nice. Thank you for dressing for us for the presentation. That's really.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I heard a comment about early on. You said something about recycling not being popular. Where do you get this from? Why do you feel that way?
Well, just because of the fact that so much more trash is thrown into the landfill and the dumps as opposed to recycled. And we saw that not just like online as a whole, the US has a lot more trash as opposed to recycled, but in Midland, just in this one spot, like there were 12 or 15 times more trash that is thrown in the dumpster as opposed to in the recycle bin. So that's where we inferred that people don't like to recycle as much.
Do you have curbside recycling in your more city-type communities in
I
your
know
area?
Saginaw City does. I don't live in Midland, so I don't know for sure if they do. And Midland's a pretty big city, so.
But not in the outlying areas.
No, if you want to recycle, you pretty much have to take it to the recycling plant yourself.
So the main recycling facility is this nonprofit organization, the city.
In Midland, yes.
In Midland.
Right.
And it's out of the way of most people.
Yeah, it's a nice drive out there.
It is.
So what about your school? Do they recycle paper?
Yeah, we have a large recycling program. Every day, students go through and collect the recycling bins that a lot of people put like old homework in or old tests that they don't need. So we do recycle quite a bit at the school.
Did you make any attempt to talk to any of your legislators or local legislators about perhaps having some sort of institutionalized system?
I think so.
No, we didn't try to tackle that in this year, but now that, you giving us that idea is great, and so in the future, that might be something now that we try to achieve, especially working with Midland Recyclers. I think that's definitely a goal that we can have now continuing this team.
Working with them to engage more of the community and get your local officials to help support.
How many years have you all been doing?
This is my third year.
Me too, 3.
This is my 4th year.
This is my first.
This is my 4th year.
I recognize some faces. So some of your seniors moving on.
Yeah.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Just a question, I wondered how your local group was using the gas from the landfill. Were they heating with it or what?
They're converting it into electricity and then either using the electricity or they sometimes just sell the methane to other companies to make energy out of it that way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very
guys.
much.